And now I'm here with no man other than Wes Rucker, especially with Tony Vitello news going on that he may be taking the San Francisco job or he may not take the San Francisco job, Wes. But what are you hearing so far?
I think as we're sitting here, you know, we always have to be specific, right? We're sitting here on Saturday night, right around the time the Tennessee-Alabama football game is starting. So as of this moment, I think the plan is for Tony to go stay home tonight, get some sleep, and think about this decision. It's a really big decision. It's an emotional decision. I mean, you're talking about, you know, a job that you considered maybe the only job you ever wanted versus also a job that you dream of when you're a little kid. And so, you know, there's a lot going on in his mind right now, a lot of pushing and pulling, and I think he's giving it a lot of serious thought.
If you were in his head right now, what would be the reason for him to stay at Tennessee?
Well, I mean, I think the simple off the top of my head would be, you know, you're a legend already where you are, right? Like, and again, we say these things and then, you know, look at what's going on with like James Franklin, right? Like, you never know. But you know, you can go from a statue to leaving pretty quickly in this era. But, you know, I think this place, Tennessee, hired him when he was an assistant head coach somewhere else, or, you know, this was his first chance to go be a head coach, and that's always meant a lot to him. He has said you can't have a single conversation with Tony Vitello without him mentioning how Italian he is and how loyal he thinks Italian people are, right? So he's going to say, and I think he means it, he's got a lot of loyalty to this place. And I've been in the room with him when somebody has mentioned, you know, he's from St. Louis, so they're like, is that home? He's like, no, man, Knoxville's home. And he means that. That would be one thing. And the other thing is, you know, if you think of what Tennessee's facilities were when he got here and how much work their success has gone into making it what's going to be like a Taj Mahal coming up soon, he might want to coach some games in that Taj Mahal also. And he's also recruited these young men who are on the team now, ones that are committed to come to the team in the future, and that means something to him. So, and it's not just a head coach, lastly. You're talking about what are your staffers going to do, where are they going to go. There's a lot of things that are in play here, so there's a lot of balls up in the air.
Now, going on the other side of that, you have your first chance to be a professional manager. Do you say he takes it, and if he does, why do you think he did?
I honestly don't know if he will take it. I mean, I would have told you an hour or two ago, frankly, that I thought he was pretty much already gone. Now I'm not positive as we're sitting here talking, because, you know, he can be an impulsive guy. You know, known this guy for years. He might wake up and say, nope, doing this, and that's that. But, you know, it's funny, he grew up a Cubs fan, but he's, you know, you grow up as a kid watching baseball, right? And you grow up watching Major League Baseball, especially if you're in a place like St. Louis where he was. And so it's funny, you say he's not a Cardinals fan. No, he's a Cubs fan. But he's, you know, I like to make sure people know that, even though he's from St. Louis because his dad's from Chicago. But, you know, there's only 30 managers, right, in Major League Baseball. It's not a lot of people who have ever lived have had the opportunity to call themselves a major league manager, and that's a huge deal. And that's something that, you know, when he's growing up, he's thinking about being a player, right? And can I get to the major leagues as a player? And, you know, he was a middle infielder with not quite a lot of pop. He had to, it was all he could to get as a walk-on at a Division I team, right? Like, he wasn't a star player, so he was never going to get to the majors that way. And I don't think he ever, when he started as a college coach, thought he might end up in a place like this. But, you know, it's always in the back of your mind. You want to test yourself at the highest level. You know, this guy behind us here, he's won every championship you can win at Tennessee. The SEC title, SEC, you know, tournament title, College World Series a few times, won a national championship. He's done what you can do. So, you know, if you want to go test yourselves against the Shohei Ohtanis of the world, the Mookie Betts of the world, why not give it a go? I mean, so I think you can understand why, even if he never really thought that he might be a major league manager, once that comes across your desk, man, you got to think about it. If you're a competitive person, yeah, if you want to be the best, if you want to compete against the best, you have to at least think about it. And
then I want to ask you this, as a Vols fan, if he decides to leave, what do you think the emotion of the city should be, in your opinion?
I make it a point, I never tell people how they should feel. Right? Like, I like to say, this is what I think, and you can think whatever you think, and then we can converse going forward off of that. But what I would hope to see, I suppose, is that this man's a legend no matter what. Think about Tennessee baseball was a sleeping giant when he got here, right? People had said it for years, right? That's a sleeping giant of a program, man. If they get their act together, that could really be a program. There's talent in the area. People here like baseball. give them a product and they'll be there. And I think what he's done, it's not like he's leaving to go to Arkansas or to LSU. If he's leaving to go to the San Francisco Giants, my policy is if you have a college head coach who has won everything you can win at the college level and he leaves you for a professional job, I think you shake his hand, you pat him on the back, you wish him the best of luck, and then you go build a statue. I mean, I think that's sort of, I think he's a legend no matter what. Even if this is a Nick Saban situation where he goes, let's say he goes to the Giants. Yeah. And then let's say it doesn't go great, or, because major league managers, they get kicked around a lot. You never really know. It could be not, you could have 2 Tommy Johns on your team and the team stinks and all of a sudden you're getting canned for it, right? Like that's life at that level. And if that happens, then he went to go take another college job, he would still be a legend at Tennessee. Nothing that he could do right now would change the fact that he's a legend at Tennessee, in my opinion.
Now, you just said you can't go off of tell people how to feel and things, but I think we both can agree. The third Saturday in October, no matter what happens, is going to be something to remember for the rest of life in Knoxville.
No kidding. I mean, this was not the, it's actually funny. We're sitting here talking, and for different reasons, right? This is the first Tennessee-Alabama football game I haven't been to in person in like 20 plus years, basically. I've seen all of them, right? And because of different circumstances now I'm here, which is great, but I was not expecting to wake up this morning. It was weird enough to see Tennessee and Alabama playing on a television and just looking at it from afar for this 1 year. But also, like, then this happens and you're sitting there like, wait, really? Today, Tony? Today? But the fact is, the college baseball season ends at a much different time from when the Major League Baseball season ends. And so this is when these jobs come up. It's not like college football where, if you leave for an NFL job, you're just talking about a couple months here. You're talking a pretty significant stretch of time from June, July until now, right? And so it's not a great time, but there's not a lot of people who would make that jump from a college baseball head coach to a major league manager. And if you do that, this is the time of year when they hire major league managers. So that's not this guy's fault if that's what happens. And I think, personally, I think if you have a chance to be a manager of one of the 30 teams at the highest level of this sport, a sport you've given your entire life to, I do not see how you can criticize a guy for taking that. But if he doesn't, then, they're already going to build a statue. If he stays, make it twice as tall if he stays. I mean, there's no question about that, right? But I wouldn't go burn jerseys or anything, because maybe even if he does go and it doesn't work out, maybe he'd be back in a little bit. So, I wouldn't go burning those jerseys just yet. You never really know.
Never really know. And who knows, though? Better than Wes Rucker, our insider. I'm Elijah Nixon. Back to you guys.